just got some book mail. I just got some book mail. I just got some book mail. Let's see what it is. Yay, book mail! Hello book lovers, welcome back to Procrastinate with Books. This is me Yamini and today we are going to enjoy a summertime. Now whenever someone actually talks about summertime, the only thing that comes into my mind personally is staying indoors and reading. Or if you have that travel kida in you, you can probably go out exploring beaches and mountains and read there in a nice ambience. But we'll talk about that more in a later stage of the video. Right now, I wanted to share my happy face of receiving book mails with you. So let's tune in. So I have 3 book mails that have been sent to me recently, and I was just clubbing them together to do a unboxing sort of a thing. So this is the first book mail that we have, and I think this is big, but the book is quite thin. Oh, it's the poetry book that was supposed to be sent to me. So here's it. And I requested it from Books Forward, so thank you so much for sending this over. And this was a poetry collection, and I was really actually looking forward to some of the books. Oh my god. Okay, I'll tell you why I'm saying this, because can you see that? It's like a complete glossy finish kind of a book, and all the pages inside the book are like those glossy finish, and they are quite thick, So I think this would do like a wonderful tabletop book as well. For someone who just wants to read a couple of pages in here, I think this is a beautiful collection. My next collection of book that I got is from Cinebar Moth Publishing, I think. I should have got scissors, but let's try. So here's what we have. Tales of the Forgotten Founder. This is actually the third and final book in the Fallenheim Chronicle series, which is a middle grade series, and I have been loving it. I have fallen in love with this publisher's all the books and collections as well from the time I got to read this one. This is like a very magical, beautiful story of 2 little children who understand that their parents had some special abilities, and they also had, well, I'll delve into the details later. I'll do a full book review about this and the whole series for you guys. So let me know if you're excited for this one. So a final book mail that has come in has also come from Books Forward. So yeah, scissors should be a better idea. Next time I'll keep that in mind. But for now, I can't stop myself. Oh god, I have to show you something. So I just requested this book on NetGalley, and can you see this on god, how do I show it? I just requested this book on NetGalley. Oh god. See, so I actually just requested it because I was not sure whether I'll be on board for the book tour of this one and whether I'll be getting this mail sooner or not. So I just thought I'll read it on NetGalley for the meantime. And they sent it to me. Thank you so much. I also wanted to reorganize my bookshelves, which is literally just 2 shelves right now because I've relocated to a different place, and because of the limited number of books I have been buying, I just thought I'll rearrange them nicely because I've been receiving a couple of book mails, and since the last time I actually went book shopping, there was a book haul video as well that you guys must have seen. I thought let's crumble them up together nicely, and they should be basically fitting in sizes of the book right now because we don't have that ample amount of books to actually categorize them genre wise. Coming back to our mountains and beaches discussion, or basically outdoor plannings and reading sessions. I used to be those kind of people who used to carry a book everywhere, even on vacations. But sadly, I never used to read them. And I even spoke to one of my bookstore friends, and she confessed the same thing, that she used to carry a book everywhere. But especially during holidays, she never used to pick them up for reading. Instead, she would even, in fact, be catching up on reading, but something digital altogether, because using a mobile these days is more handy than actually picking up a book and reading. And especially on vacations, I think that could be the crucial part of reading a book in there. So what I've done today is I've curated a list for you guys, the best books that you could possibly read on vacations in digital formats. Now these are obviously thrillers because they are really fast paced and they have a mystery solving aspect to it. And I know from personal experience how a lengthy piece of literature can make you feel lazy and not really get into the mood of doing anything basically. I know that's what vacations are for, but if you want to stay active and go outdoors exploring the places, I think a thriller would be the right fit. So here I present to you fast paced and mostly short length books that would be great for your vacations. The first book on our list is Villa by Rachel Hawkins. I actually read this in March, I guess, around when I was reading a lot of thrillers, and a couple of these books would be from that area of reading time. And the story here basically involves two best friends, or who used to be best friends during their childhood college days, and then later they went their separate paths and both ended up becoming authors in different genres. One of them is now doing really well, the other is not so much, and they decided to go on a trip to Italy to spend their whole summer vacations of 6 weeks in there. And then there's this whole element of actually the bonding being disturbed, rebuilt up, and a mystery element in the house in which they are staying, which was supposedly haunted because there was a murder that occurred a few timelines back in there, and they are just trying to solve that mystery. On our list is How to Kill Men and Get Away with It, which is very hilarious. It is so humorous. You will be laughing half of the time at least. And the best part about this book is there are a lot of dark, murderous elements in it, and still the book actually conveys the plot and themes to you in such a light manner that you won't feel very heavy hearted around these topics. Whereas the topics discussed in the book are quite serious, but they are conveyed in such a way that it makes very entertaining for you to read or even listen. I have read it, I have also listened to this in an audiobook format, and I think this would do wonderfully good to you, especially on vacations if you're traveling. Story here starts with one incident where she's basically trying to go home and it's dark at night, and she's trying to get back home and someone is attacking her from behind, and then just to safeguard herself she actually ends up killing him. And that's where this whole chain of events start, and she protecting herself, her surroundings, her friends, and other people in the society by killing the wrong people who are trying to do wrong with other human beings in there. And that's what makes it a little serious but conveyed in a hilarious way. So I hope you do give this one a try. Next on our list is a little heavy book, When No One Is Watching, which is basically conveying you the stories of black people living in Brooklyn, and where there is a nearby town located where most of the people living in there were black, and now the whole society is going under reconstruction and redevelopment plan by some huge builder, and he's trying to create new homes by taking the old homes and reconstructing them lavishly, and gradually white people are going to settle in there as well. But the reason this book unhinges you a little is because all the previous homeowners, who were actually the people living in there in that place, mysteriously are either vanishing into thin air or dying out of nowhere suddenly. And that's where this whole mystery element creeps in, that what is the actual plan behind this whole redevelopment phase, and who is actually killing these people. Is it the task of a single person, or is it a whole group of people combined together working in this element to profit out somehow? And that's what this book discusses. And it's majorly a clash between black lives living in America, and I know it has been a revolutionary thing as well that has been discussed in the past decade a lot. And this book basically highlights a lot of elements regarding it. What kind of challenges did they face around it? And now, with all the heavy stuff aside, I have Finlay Donovan series, which is another hilarious mystery thriller book, and it must be recommended by a ton of people. Now, this book is basically a series of three books, but you can read either the first and the second and the third if you want to. I personally like the first one best. The second one is still okay. I've not read the third one because I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about it, and I personally don't have time to prioritize an average read right now, but these two were pretty good. The first book, especially, I'll talk more about the book now. The book starts with Finlay Donovan being portrayed as a struggling writer who has been stuck in a writing slump right now, and she just can't figure out how to finish her book, for which she has been paid half in advance already, and her agent is chasing her. And she one day just meets her agent to talk about that she just can't find the right plot how to kill those people, and the agent is basically giving her ideas how you could finish it, and someone overhears her and mistakes her to be a hit lady. That means you basically give a name to that person, and I want this person dead, clean job, and they get paid for it. That's what she is being conceived as. Now she's been bestowed upon this huge task of killing person X in exchange for a lot of money, and she's in dire need of it, so she's trying to make the right call what she should do. My next recommendation for you is Rock, Papers, and Scissors, and this is one of the most fast paced and intriguing books that I have seen across in maybe 2 years now. And I really feel this book has the potential that will make every reader cringe. The story here is about a husband and a wife who are basically married for a very long time, and they think they know a lot about each other, and then things are not basically going very well in their marriage right now. It's on a breaking point kind of a situation, and they suddenly win a trip to Scotland for a weekend getaway. So they go there, and things started to unravel. Now, what usually happens is during their anniversary, they used to give each other traditional gifts. Basically, the husband and the wife used to write a letter to her husband, and she would never let him read that. And now all of those compilations are getting in, and one of them is basically lying because they did not by chance or by luck win this trip. One of them is involved, and someone actually wants them dead. So there's this whole planning and plotting going on in the mixed convolution of their marriage distress, and they are going to solve it. Let's hope so. And someone has summed this book up in one line, so I'm borrowing that line to share it with you. 10 years of marriage, 10 years of secrets, and an anniversary that they'll never forget. So, happy reading! Next recommendation for you is very audience specific. What Lies in the Woods would be either hated by a majority or loved by a majority. It obviously has mixed reviews already out in the market, so you will have to pick and choose whether this is the one for you. About the plot, it's discussing a lot of best friend dynamics, how the children who used to play together in a younger age had a traumatic event in the past, and how their lives are basically being affected by what kind of choices in life are they making, and their own dynamics between each other are quite changing as they grow up. There are portions in the story which actually reference back to a few couple of instances of Greek mythology stories, specifically related to Athena. So I would recommend this book if you have read Greek mythologies in the past and you basically understand what god resembles what, so that you can understand the references that are being made into the book as well. And that, my friends, were my recent favorite murderous thriller books, and I hope you do give them a try and enjoy reading them. And if you have made so far into the video, drop me a knife emoji, and I'll catch up with you in my next video. Until then, keep your coffee strong and your TBRs long. Goodbye.